machine. Wait a minute. Shake your arm. Then use your phone.
Building an empire out of folded up $1 bills. The Creedence and Bishop Show.
Yes, Creedence and Bishop Show, cbradioshow.com. Creedence Bishop Show here with you, Bishop Mikey Clay, and one of our favorite guests of all time, the man with the plan himself, Mr. Dennis Hoff. Dennis, how you doing, man?
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, Dennis. How's it going?
Good morning. I've got my best friend on the line, Ron Jeremy.
Oh, really?
Hey, guys.
Hey, how's it going, Ron?
Hey, man. He just figured I was here at the ranch, having a great time as always. And he says, hey, on the radio, come on over.
Yeah, I mean, it's great to have Ron on because for a long time we've often talked about, we want to get Ron on the show, and I talked around to different people. I was like, who do we get up with to book Ron Jeremy? And they're like, you need to talk to Ron Jeremy about booking Ron Jeremy, and that's the only person you could talk to about that.
Ron's pretty hard to get a hold of.
Why did you talk to Dennis? He always knows how to get a hold of him.
I know how to get a hold of Ron. So when Ron's up here, they had a birthday party for me at the Love Ranch South outside of Vegas on Saturday night. Ron flew in from Fantasy Fest in Florida. I flew in from New York City from doing TV there and radio, and we partied, and then we got up yesterday morning. We did a road trip across Nevada from southern Nevada brothels to the Bunny Ranch in northern Nevada.
So you stopped off on all the brothels. I mean, what did you do when Dennis shows up at one of the brothels? Is everybody standing at attention? I mean, what's the atmosphere when you get there?
I'll say this radio savvy. Well, we found ways to drain the main vein, shoot the sherbet, squeeze the weasel, spank the monkey.
So it's exactly the way
I keep it clean, right? So I keep it clean. I do that.
That was good. Right now, the thing about Ron is that he's a tough guy. I mean, we went to Nevada. We went through a ghost town that's 170 people. That one time was the biggest city west of the Mississippi, Goldfield, Nevada. And then we got here last night, and Ron did a shoot for our magazine. We're coming out with our own magazine, Bunny Ranch magazine, and did a shoot for that with 6 different girls. And he's the man. Nobody can compete with Ron when it comes to that stuff.
Oh, gee, thank you.
See, this is the amazing thing. This is the amazing thing about Ron Jeremy. When I was growing up as a teenager, I knew who Ron Jeremy was from his work in fantastic films that he did put out with the adult industry. Now my 13-year-old son comes up to me, and he's like, I want you to see this video. I'm like, okay. And I get kind of worried every time he wants me to look at something. And he starts showing me this video of this really pale guy singing this really weird song that had something to do with a Miley Cyrus kind of parody. And the next thing I know, I see Ron Jeremy, and my kid is all about Ron Jeremy now. Every other conversation I have talking about, he's like, hey, remember that video with Ron Jeremy in it? And I'm like, yeah. And he's like, man, Ron Jeremy, he is I want to learn more about Ron Jeremy.
Steve-O's in it too. Steve-O from Jackass is in it.
Yeah, but everybody cares about, all my son cares about is Ron Jeremy. That's it. Ron Jeremy is what comes out of his mouth constantly. So
did you like that video?
Yeah, I mean, it's
got a couple of million hits already.
Yeah, it's hilarious too. I mean,
Well, tell your son, if he really wants to be a Ron Jeremy fan, the cult movie is Boondock Saints. He needs to watch that.
Right.
That's probably the most popular film I've ever done. You guys ever see it, Boondock Saints?
Yeah,
of course, yeah.
So
it was Willem Dafoe. That's people often don't know that I was in it because I had like a weird hairdo, and I had I had to talk like this a little bit,
You already have a weird hairdo.
Yeah. They gave me a leisure suit to play Vincenzo, who gets shot and killed in a peep show.
So, I mean, Ron Jeremy spanning decades, in his
spanning generations.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's great that I can sit down with my son and discuss Ron Jeremy's work. And as he gets older, I'll talk to him about some of Ron's other work. So
I appreciate that.
It's a bonding.
I only get younger.
There you go.
That's right.
And
as Dennis Hoff said, you're only as young as
the girl you woke up with.
There you go.
Dennis was 19 a couple of times this week.
Well, I'm 22. I'm 22 today.
Oh, nice.
And that's great, Ron. And then you were with 6 different girls last night. So I don't know what the average on that was, but it couldn't be more than 22 or 23.
It was a photo shoot. It was fun.
With you guys,
getting paid for that. Imagine getting paid, guys, to do photo shoots and with hot naked girls. Imagine getting that. That's your job.
That's ridiculous.
No wonder I have a smile tattooed on my face.
Speaking of that's your job, I mean, like, have you guys, with the chemistry that you two guys have together and everything, has there been talks of maybe a reality like buddy show or something? Wouldn't that be a great show?
Actually, there was. They're the biggest guys in the business were Endemol, which brought over 501 Minds or 51 Minds. The two big guys who produced all the Surreal Lives and the Flavor Flaves.
Right.
They wanted to do a possible show with me and Dennis. Well, I shouldn't have the whole idea, but being together in a home with some of his girls. It was really a funny premise. And for all I know, they're still trying to shop it, you know.
Well, you know, the show, which would be a great show, is The Pimp and the Porn Star. And as Ron and I are crazy lives because we're so opposite in everything. We're just the greatest of friends, and we have fun. We're around lots of celebrities. We're around hot girls and
rock and roll stars, all kinds of stuff.
Oh yeah, everybody.
We introduced rappers on stage.
Yeah,
like we did with Snoop Dogg.
Yeah, everybody.
You got by that cloud of smoke on stage.
It's like Wu Kid. I was with Wu Kid, Eminem, and 50 Cent's DJ. I did his show when I was in New York, Ron, and he said, "You guys can open up for us anytime you want." And so we'll have to set that up. But that'd be the kind of stuff we'd film, and then backstage, and Ron and I with all the hot girls and fooling around, and we could make a hardcore version of it too. Where there's a little sex going on.
But see, here's the thing. Anytime you have a reality show like that, they want some sort of friction between the two characters. And I just don't see that kind of friction coming from you two, unless, you know, behind the scenes.
No. Let me tell you, all we have to do is go to a nice restaurant and run up a $500 tab and hand it to Ron. We're going to have friction.
You know, you'll see fireworks. My head will blow up. You see what this guy is? Here's how it works. When I take a dollar bill out of my pocket, the president on the dollar bill is rubbing his eyes and going, "Oh, daylight."
Yeah, so that's all that would take, or either that, or me trying to get Ron to get rid of his flip phone and get an iPhone. Oh my God, he texts. He texts with that the old school way, you know, where you take and you know, you have to tap it, the tap system.
Right.
Yeah, I think that's 1987, if I remember right. He still does that, and I can't get him into an iPhone. We're always arguing about that. Dude, get into this century. Like, here's what it would be. It'd be Ron pulling out his razor, his flip phone, and then taking a magnifying glass, which he did yesterday in the car, trying to figure out the number. To give to me because his piece of garbage phone doesn't work, and that's arguing like, Ron, get into this century. No, I like this one. I could write a novel by the time he sends a 20-word text.
I almost wish he was joking.
Yeah, and so those are the kind of things that we would hassle about, you know. And like, Ron, you know what? I love you, but could you mind putting on a suit tonight? We're going to a funeral. And he's got his sweats on and say Bunny Ranch on him, and his lime green Crocs that I bought him.
But I'll have a black T-shirt and black pants.
Yeah, black T-shirt, black Bunny Ranch shirt. That's
we've got to show respect.
That's his uniform.
And then I'll play taps on the harmonica.
That you can do, and I'm so proud of you. He learned how to do that. John Popper gave us both harmonicas, and Ron took the time to learn how to use it, and of course I didn't. Mine's sitting in my drawer here. But Ron's amazing on harmonica. I mean, he does, you know, God Bless America at the rock concerts, and it just kills. I mean, it's just amazing.
I want to see this show now.
I know. I feel like I'm already watching it. It's amazing.
I know. It would be a great show. I mean,
I bring my own rim shot because I can't fit drums in my pocket, so I got a harmonica. You know.
Okay, so give us a little something on that, Ron.
Really?
Yeah. What's something fun? Oh, just a few minutes.
Hold on. Why not do a patriotic one? You know?
I'm saluting. I'm saluting.
Yeah, you're saluting with your pants. I know what you're doing.
I'm saluting. And see, when Ron does this, here's the beauty of this. On our TV show, we'll do this at a big rock concert like Rock Fest in Kansas City in front of 60,000 people, and at the same time, Ron's penis will be getting popcorn at the concession stand.
At the same time. And then at the same time, whatever's left over of the balls is actually parked in the car. And then at the same time, it's just a tip is blocking the driveway so the cars can't get out.
It's amazing. I mean, you two are almost like the perfect married gay couple in a way. I mean, you guys...
Exactly.
And you got to figure that we're going to have the schmeckle jokes.
Oh, of course. We're the Oscar and Felix of the sex business.
I mean, it's amazing. I mean, you guys going around together, and I mean, I don't see how this hasn't been picked up yet.
Yeah.
This is a win.
We just never took the time to do it, and we need to sit down and just finally say stop the nonsense and let's sell this show. And I'm sure Judith Regan said she could sell it to A&E, Ron. We won't have a problem with selling it. We just need to sit down and do it. That's all.
Two big names like you guys. I mean, especially you're almost embedded in pop culture at this point. Everybody knows if you mention either one of your names, people know who you are. So I mean, it's already got the name recognition. It's got everything, and you two have the chemistry that's just out of this world. It's unbelievable.
Well, he'll bring the Surreal Life viewers, and I'll bring the Cathouse viewers, and we'll have a hit.
Unbelievable.
Now, does Ron partake in the Meatless Mondays that you guys are doing now at the Bunny Ranch, or?
Well, today's Monday. That's the test to see if he can survive through the day without telling the driver that he needs to go to the store to get gum and grabbing a couple burgers. Because today's Meatless Monday. Now, I don't mean totally meatless, but I mean consumption of meat.
Correct.
Is not acceptable at the Bunny Ranch today. But there's going to be plenty of meat here. It's just not consumed.
A very specific type of meat. You know, it's flesh, but no meat.
Exactly. So
you want you to meet the women, but no meat. You know.
Exactly. So you're gonna have plenty of dishes there for the lunchtime crowd, Ron.
Right. It's MEET is good, not MEAT.
Exactly. And so it's going to be a test because although he's doing better, he's eating a lot better, and I'm proud of him.
When you get on the years into your 50s, you got to be smart about it. You have no choice.
Well, when I get into my 50s, I'm going to worry about that.
I know, me too. We're only like 10, 20 years away.
Exactly. Well, you know, guys, let me tell you something. I'll tell you why I'm in the sex business, okay? Is because when I was a kid, Ron was a big porn star, and, of course, I washed his car as a young kid. And so I had the incentive to get into the adult business.
Oh, my God. So that would make me about 20 years older than you, I guess, correct?
Of course.
If you can't buy that one,
Ron, if you count the rings around that tree, you're 1,000 years old. What are you talking about?
Sure, it's seen some action. That's in my tree trunk.
Yeah.
And see, Ron's one of those guys too. Even though he's packing the heat downstairs, he's all about giving the women oral pleasures, which for guys
like that.
Guys like us with
things to do.
Yeah, guys like us with small penises, it gives us something to go to. Like we can't.
I like that. And most of my films, I always start out with that. Dennis enjoys that too. I think with girls.
Well, he's a connoisseur. I mean, I always tell the managers here, if I go to bed, if Ron grabs one of the girls, take her fingerprints because Ron's eating everything else.
Remember the legendary comedian Sam Kinison?
Right.
Guys, he had the greatest routine about you must eat the alphabet, do something creative.
Oh, yeah.
And he said, if I learned how to give really good oral to women, I wouldn't have to give away everything I own every 5 years. That's a great line.
That's true. It's absolutely true.
So, as much partying as you guys do together, has there been times where you guys have shared women or been in like groups together, or do you guys always like pair off like, okay, I'll see you later and I'll see you in 10 minutes or whatever?
It's been both. It's been like orgy situations where we're in the same room, or probably more often we're doing our own thing. We meet in one big group, and then we'll go separate ways,
Well, in Ron's book, he wrote about, we were at AVN one year, and I said, Ron, I'm tired. I want to go to bed early. Don't call me. Don't wake me up. Don't knock on the door. So I'm at the Rio, and so I put a sign on the door, Ron, don't knock on my door, please. And so I get a knock on the door, and I look at the clock. It's like 8 o'clock in the morning. I thought, well, it's the maid. So I got up and I opened the door, and there's this little hottie, mean little young hottie. And I didn't even say a word. I just grabbed her by the arm and said, "Come on." It's like I went back.
But when he tried to close the door, I blocked it so it wouldn't close all the way.
And I didn't see that. And so
me and her husband, we didn't know, sneak into the room, and we're at the foot of the bed. We're watching everything.
And
and Dennis would never let anyone watch him because he's very shy because he's a ton of dynamite with a 2-inch fuse. He doesn't want anybody. No, I'm kidding. He's hung like a bull moose, and he didn't want us to see. So he's busy doing the girl, and he's not aware that we're there. And then finally, he finishes, and she has a great time. And also, we start applauding. He's like, "What? Who's in here? Hi, Dennis. It's about time, too. We're losing daylight here. It's about time to finish this damn thing." He goes, "Who's that?" Her husband. "What?" Okay, he likes watching. So it's the funniest thing.
It's like, wrap this up. It's time to go to the buffet.
Yeah, we got things to do, Dennis. God, how long does this thing take, for God's sake? For play with 45 minutes? We're bored, So we made a joke like, it was all sound effects. She's going, "Ah." Dennis is going, "Ah." I'm going, "Shh." He's going, "Okay." Those are the noises going on in that room. "Oh yeah, oh yeah." "Shh, I won't make any noise. Don't worry." So it's one of us.
And I was thinking I was a hero, taking my best shot. I mean, I didn't say a word to this girl. I just grabbed her at the door, brought her in, took her clothes off. And
it made my day. How many? And that was in the beginning of our friendship. How many guys can brag that they actually set up a pimp? How many guys can say, "I got a pimp laid"? Isn't that great?
Well, Ron, you should try to be able to say it every week.
I've done it a couple times, but I can't get Pete. You got the numbers, that's for damn sure.
See, unfortunately, Dennis is going to get this into a habit, and every time a strange girl shows up at the door, he's just grab her and pull in the room. One of these days, she's just going to be gone to the wrong door, and the next thing you know, Dennis is having to wine and dine his way out of that one. So. But you guys.
Ron's like a crazy uncle that just wanders around the bunny ranch late at night, just trolling. And of course, he's always. Well, on my birthday, Ron was here like 30 hours and ended up with 6 girls.
Wow. We've been around for 30 years and haven't got 6 girls
between us.
That's incredible.
Yeah. So we have fun. We make it fun, and that's. Go to BunnyRanch.com. There's some great pictures of Ron there. And by the way, here's a site I want you to look at, guys.
Okay.
SleepingWithRonJeremy.com. It's pictures of Ron sleeping all over the world with girls with their junk in his face, breasts. It's crazy pictures of Ron sleeping at the Emmys, the Grammys, the American Music Awards. He sleeps everywhere.
I like the photo of you. Ron is passed out on the couch there.
Well, that's at the Ritz-Carlton in New York, and Hedi Fleiss was back there with me with the picture, and we were at the PetSmart's annual meeting, and Ron, I mean, like 100 people that were staying at the Ritz walked by there and took that photograph. They all just love it. Someone would stand behind the couch and they'd wave their arms. I mean, that picture is an infamous picture because so many people at the Ritz took it.
Yep, that's true.
Yep, it was great fun.
Speaking of Heidi,
I got a picture of him in a suite after we did Stern one time, where he's got his razor phone, his flip phone in his hand, and he went to sleep. It's on there with the phone in his hand. He's talking on the phone and went to sleep.
I do it all the time. I fall asleep in the back, In fact, I got to do a photo shoot right now. So, you continue, Dennis?
Yeah, absolutely. And you enjoy that. I mean, guys, how would you like to do that? Now, you get up in the morning, you take a shower, have a little breakfast, and then go get naked with girls and do a hardcore photo shoot.
It is the life.
That's the rough line.
Sounds awesome.
I just want to thank you, Ron.
Nice talking to you.
Thank you for coming on, Ron.
Man.
Absolutely.
Oh, guys, come on. My pleasure. Thanks, guys.
All right, thanks for the music.
All right, guys. All right.
It's magical.
it was.
He's the greatest. He's the greatest. He's the king.
Without a doubt. I mean, the life that he's led. I mean, and I've heard of this notoriously cheap, but I mean, wow. I mean, it's definitely, it's not for show. It's definitely who Ron is.
It's awesome.
Yeah, exactly. And we just make it fun. The silliness relax. It's just sex. I spoke at Trinity College, the Harvard of Ireland. It's I spoke at a university 3 weeks ago that was established 185 years before we were a country.
Right.
Okay?
Wow.
And that's what I told them. Stop all this uptight old religious stuff. This is the real world. Porn's not going away. Prostitution's not going anyway. And stop with this stuff. Relax. It's just sex. Jesus.
Dennis, do you find that you get more speaking engagements overseas than you do in the States, or is it?
Well, I get a lot of opportunity in the United States. I just don't take them up on it. It's very prestigious to be able to speak at Trinity College. I mean,
Right.
There's BBC is now saying that I'm going to get the Speaker of the Year award, where people like Winston Churchill and Orson Welles have won that. So
Wow.
it's just more prestigious to do that. The same way with. Oxford. When I spoke at Oxford University, only 6 U.S. presidents were invited to speak there, and me, Mother Teresa, Dalai Lama. That's some pretty heavy.
That's good company to be in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I tend to do that more, and now it looks like we haven't wrapped it up yet. But two things: one, my people are working on having me speak at the university, the main university in Amsterdam, and BBC says they've got the opportunity to have me speak at the Sorbonne, the most prestigious college university in France.
Wow.
So that's big. It's big bragging rights. I got an email once. Remember we had a killer, the guy in the theaters up there, and so I get an email from Sean Hannity, and it says, "Hey, Big Pimpin', we hear that this Aurora killer was buying sex. You know anything about it?" And I of course I know Sean real well. I've done his show a zillion times, and I said to him, "Excuse me, Mr. Hannity, in the future, I'd like to have you refer to me as Big Pimping and Oxford lecturer, and I'd like to remind you that neither you nor your butt buddy O'Reilly or anybody else at Fox ever has or ever will speak at Oxford." It's like 3 lines of that. Well, right? He loved it. And so but those things are good. It's a pain. I went to Amsterdam. Of course, I was there 3 days in Amsterdam, did media there, and of course, I need to exercise all the Bulgarian and Romanian girls I could find.
Right.
There you go.
And, that's just I owe it to myself to do that, and so I partied a lot there, and then I went on to Ireland, and I was so worn out, I actually brought the bunny with me.
Nice.
Just to spruce up.
Yeah,
Just
to
keep things going.
Give me a little break. But I go to bunnyranch.com, look at Crafts of Kisses. I had her meet me in Ireland, and so that worked out real well.
When you're out like that, Dennis, do you get approached by a lot of people about, especially women that are trying to think that they want to get a job at a place like the Bunny Ranch and they want to get into that kind of business? Do you find girls come up?
When I went to immigration in Ireland, the immigration guys had their picture taken because Cathouse we've been on 12 years. Cathouse is in like its 4th or 5th year over there.
Right.
So they're asking me about stuff that we did 7 years ago. Because when HBO sells this to different parts of the world,
right.
The stuff is entirely different. I'm sure right now the stuff we did 12 years ago is beginning someplace in the world. And I can gauge that by the emails I get, but I must have had 50 different people buy me pints of Guinness in Ireland.
So, I know one of my favorite episodes I remember watching was the ones where you guys were kind of like meeting girls that wanted to come to work at the Bunny Ranch, and you kind of like going through and saying, okay, this girl would be good, but not this one. And it was all because you needed almost like a total package. And a lot of women, I think, they just think, if I can, I'm good at sex, I can just get up there and just go at it, and anybody could do this. But it really does kind of take a special kind of girl to come and work in a professional atmosphere like that.
Well, absolutely. They all think they're good. They all think they're good, and the reality is they're not good.
Right.
And until look at it. If we're going to build a race car, we're not going to the Carson City, Nevada School of Driving to get the driver.
Right.
We want somebody that's ran 1,000 races and knows what it's like to win Indianapolis or Formula One races. And civilian chicks don't do that. That's why guys come to the ranch. They come to the ranch for a few reasons. One, privacy and discretion. We're not going to out you. We're not going to call your wife. We're not going to do stuff like this Sidney Leathers did with Anthony Wieners. We're not going to do that stuff. The second thing is safety. They don't want to get a disease. And 1 out of 4 an age group that all of us guys would like to sleep with, the young girl age group, 1 out of 4 girls in America right now has an STD. Okay, so we're not going to give them an STD. You know, we're not going to out them. And the biggest thing is these girls have experience. They've done it all. They know how to take you there, and it'll be the best sex you ever had. You want to go home and throw rocks at your girlfriend. What the hell is this, you amateur? You know, and I get these guys come in here at these bachelor parties and stuff, and they'll say, well, my wife was only with one guy, and I'm so lucky. I'm like, oh, are you kidding me? I want the chick that's been with 500 guys.
Yeah, you want the experience.
That's the girl that's gonna just spin your head around.
Well, before we let you go, we want to ask you real quick, how's Heidi doing?
Heidi's doing okay. You know, I'm not sure what I'm going to do with her. You know, she's been my friend for a long time. I try to help her on everything, and a couple months ago, they went over to her house looking for some girl and found 393 pot plants, and so I'm like, Heidi, what's up? She's, Dennis, I needed the money. I need to take care of my birds, and I had a chance to grow $300,000 worth of pot for this dispensary, and I knew you'd come over and rip all the plants out if you found out, so I had to lie to you. And so then last week she gets busted again. She got 4 ounces of weed in the back seat and $10,000. Well, so they bust her and get her for intent to sell. When the reality is the $10,000 was to go to her lawyer for the first case. Okay. And so she just keeps getting in trouble, and I just don't know what to. I'm perplexed, to be honest with you. I don't know what to do. I love her, and we got a lot of history. I mean, we were fooling around 100 years ago, and she was the best. Talk about lover, oh boy, and she was amazing in bed. Ugh.
You need to keep an eye on her. I believe she's slipping here and there, especially, I mean, if she's driving around with weed in her car, especially that much. She's got her.
Yeah, I mean, it's just silly stuff. I mean, it's just silly stuff for no reason, and I don't know what it's going to take. I need to get a hold of Dr. Drew and get her back in rehab because she did real well after she got out of celebrity rehab.
Really?
Yeah.
And in fact, I'm going to do that today. That's going to be on my list of things to get a hold of.
That might be a very good idea.
And tell her to snatch her butt up again. Let's get her back in rehab and get her done. You know, drugs are a hell of a thing, and we saw it with Cathouse and all the things that he went through. Liberace's lover,
yeah.
And I'm so glad that I'm strung out on hot girls and food.
You don't have time for anything but eating and fucking. That's it.
Exactly. Now you're making sense.
One feeds the other. I mean, it really does. When you're done fucking, you want to eat.
Absolutely. And you know what they say at the Bunny Ranch? Eating ain't cheating.
That's not, my friend. Eating ain't cheating at all. Please go to the bunnyranch.com. Check out all of Dennis's girls, and get yourself out there, man. That's the gift that keeps on giving. I really
treat yourself.
Well, I've got 7 stores now. I got 3 outside of Vegas and 4 in northern Nevada. I bought up all my competition, the Kit Kat Ranch. Of course, I owned the Love Ranch for a while. I just bought the Sagebrush Ranch. We bought up the strip club up here and changed it to Madame Suzette's Red Light Adult Cabaret. So, we're billing this as Dennis Hoff's Amsterdam in Nevada. We're
going to have to come up there and see you sometime. We're going to have to fly out and really hang out and do some stuff with you.
Go on bunnyranch.com and start looking. It makes Amazon suck. I mean, we got hot girls everywhere. So yeah, check that out.
Dennis, thank you so much for coming.
It was fun. I hope you enjoyed Ron. He's the best, and we'll do it again soon. And let's get some buddies on here.
Absolutely,
it was a great surprise to have Ron on, and Dennis, as always, you're living the life, man. So all
right, well, let's get Brooke Taylor on or Caressa Kisses. They're both fun. Brooke was just on Oprah for her second time, and Caressa is unbelievable. Did you check out her pictures? Go to the site.
Yeah.
Look at the front. Yeah, she's killer and fun as hell. So let's get one of those girls on and have a little bit of fun with them. Okay?
Absolutely, we'll have to do that very soon.
Thank you. It's always fun.
Thank you, Dennis. What a guy. And what a surprise to having Ron Jeremy on.
Did you even know that?
No.
Like a unicorn sighting.
Yeah.
With a harmonica.
I know. He busted his,
I don't even know how to respond to that. Other than that, it was magical.
Yeah.
magical.
Unbelievable. No, if I'd have known Ron Jeremy was going to be on, I would have told you guys.
That was funny.
Yeah, it was a twofer.
Very cool.
And seriously, I mean, I hadn't heard anything about the reality show, but just them talking, I was like,
"Oh man,
how can someone?"
They were clicking constantly.
Yeah, I mean, and you from the times before when we had Dennis Hoff on, you talk about him and
taking her out to eat.
right?
Yeah, referring to
She.
as she, Ron Jeremy as she and everything like that, and all the stories and stuff. But just them being on the show, being together like that, just on the phone. I mean,
Ron Jeremy and Dennis Hoff, a twofer.
you just tell the chemistry. How do they not have a show yet? They're gonna get a show.
It'll
I'm telling
happen. Yeah, it'll definitely happen.
If not, it's a travesty. Because that would be just hysterical.
Oh.
I mean, because they're not putting it on.
I know.
It is what it is. That's the life they live. So
Now, coming up next, I'm going to talk
nothing to compare a candle to that.
No,
Nope.
it will actually. It's nerd news.
Nowhere but downhill after
God,
that.
it's going downhill. But before it crashes at the bottom, I'm going to try and tell you about this new thing Nat Geo's doing to capitalize on the massive success of The Purge. Also going to be talking about something our good friend Clive Barker is doing.
Clive Barker.
That much more coming up in the Nerd News.
Yes, and after that, going to have on Will Ryder. So even if it dips a little bit,
It'll pick back up.
Right.
pick back up. But I believe in you, unlike Mikey does.
Thank you.
Never.
No problem. But that's up next right here on the Creedence and Bishop Show, broadcasting live worldwide, cbradioshow.com.
And